Hello, it's Tom again, and today we're going to discuss preparations for a house fire, basic emergency. And there's many things you can do to better prepare for it. I'm obviously not going to try to slam everything into one video, but one really simple way you can prepare is to have a pair of sneakers and a fire resistant box under your bed. Now, the reason you want a pair of sneakers is that if you're in bed and the smoke alarms are going off, and the reason you want that box there as well is because you can just grab your box and the sneakers and run outside. Notice I didn't say put your sneakers on. The building's on fire, you don't have time for that. But you take the sneakers with you because if you don't, suddenly you don't have sneakers or shoes or something, boots, whatever. But you get outside, now you're safe and you can put your shoes on. As for the fire resistant box, the reason you want that to be fire resistant is because, you're not always going to be in bed in the event of a fire. You could be anywhere. And so the important things you keep in there are less likely to be destroyed if they're in a fire resistant and water resistant box. So, it's rated to protect the items inside it for X amount of time to X amount of degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius. And it should be able to take a direct hit from a fire hose without everything inside getting completely soaked. So, that's what we got here. This is latching, it has a lock. I'm willing to bet the security on this is really abysmal and easy for somebody to break into. Also, because it's meant to be portable, somebody could just pick it up and run out of your house and later on open it at their convenience. So, you're not going to try to keep, your family heirlooms or anything like that in here. It's not rated for firearms. So, they do make fire resistant boxes that are meant to carry firearms. This, according to the manufacturer, is not one of them. And I personally don't believe in keeping your firearms in a box that is portable. I prefer having something bolted to the floor or the wall, as well as weighing several hundred pounds. So that way, they stay where they belong. So, because you know, I just keep the keys inside the box. So in the event I need to lock it, I can. So items that go in the box. Item number one is a spare wallet. Inside of this, I've got a passport, so I have ID. I've got it covered up right now, but there's a social security card there. I've got spare bills in the wallet, so you can easily do a hotel room. You can fit a number of cards in these pockets, so you can have a spare credit card or debit card. Again, we're not talking about prepping in living in the wilds. We're talking about emergency hotel room access and restaurant access. This is very straightforward. We're not going to build our own shelter out of the woods surrounding the kids' playground across the street. That would be silly. We'll just get a hotel room. All right, other important documents that I don't want to lose in a fire. I've got a birth certificate as well as my military discharge paperwork, or copies of the discharge paperwork. The originals are elsewhere. I've got my vehicle title. I've got some college transcripts. And my wife has a box just like this, and she has the homeowner's insurance paperwork in there, which covers fire. Very important piece of documentation to not lose, especially because we're talking about fire. And the last one, I've got copies of this in multiple places, but in here, again, in case you get injured or, the wife gets injured or something like that, I've got my advance directive and durable power of attorney for medical decisions paperwork in here. The wife has those copies of those as well. Another way to describe those documents would be a living will and medical proxy paperwork. It depends on the region you're in, what the standards are, but that basically sets you up pretty well in a hospital for making sure your wishes are fulfilled in the event that you are unconscious or they have to put you in a medically induced coma, which is not uncommon when somebody has a severe burn. Um, and so you need to make sure your wishes, as best you can foresee into the future, are upheld. And you have to have that talk with your partner as well, because if you're giving them power of attorney, they have to make the decisions that your advance directive does not cover. You can also use that paperwork to reject certain things, like maybe you have a family member that wants to impose a religious standard on your medical treatment, and you do not want to live up to that medical standard. It's not what you believe. You can specifically ban other people from making medical decisions for you, which can really have a positive impact on your treatment and avoid things like prolonged litigation, which has been known to happen from time to time. You can also use it to state that yes, you are okay with receiving an experimental treatment if the doctors think that is a good idea. Or you can say, no, I do not want an experimental treatment for whatever reason. You want basic treatment only, or, the current standard treatments. And these are all decisions that your paperwork should take care of. You don't need a lawyer for that. They will charge anywhere from $300 to $1,000 for that paperwork, depending on how in-depth you get. But you can do it yourself, find some forms, download them, print them up, fill them out. In most states, all you have to do is get a notary public witness, you and your medical proxy, signing the documentation, and they put their seal on it, and for the most part, that's good enough. Again, you'll have to look up the regulations in your area to know for sure if that's the acceptable standard. But for me, that's what is required in my home state, as well as in federal hospitals like the VA hospital. So there you go. Very simple and very useful prep in the event of a house fire. Have a good day.